Will the Prime Minister retire from politics after this term? Today he gave some indication of his political future. The Prime Minister also pledges to suffocate crime. 2 men charged with allegedly assaulting and threatening 2 female BC workers. The Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister back from a trip to Haiti. The opposition demands the cost of the government's health insurance consultants. Plus, a local teen is behind the design of the official mascot for the upcoming World Relays. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts now. Topping news tonight, less than 2 years after the 2012 general election, speculation is already rife that Prime Minister Perry Christie may decide to run again in 2017. However, Christie suggested today that just because he has appointed many loyal, voting stalwart councillors during his time as leader, it doesn't mean he will stay on as leader forever. The Prime Minister's comments come one day after he told parliamentarians he is in the twilight of his political career. Vonique Toot reports.
Following months of speculation over whether he will lead the Progressive Liberal Party into the next general election, Prime Minister Perry Christie today hinted at his political future. After spending more than 40 years in public life, Christie said today, for everything, there is a season. Christie was responding to today's Nassau Guardian editorial titled The Eternal PLP Leader. The editorial noted, young PLPs need not look for a vacancy at the top of their organization anytime soon. Your king is likely to rule like a monarch. It also observed that the PLP leader's ability to appoint voting stalwart councillors at will has made him invincible.
I see they even editorializing today that because I have so structured the political organization, I'm going to stay forever in that position. I don't know why they're talking about me like that. But listen, for everything in life there is a season.
It's not the first time Christie has hinted that his time in frontline politics is winding down. He has previously said he's grooming the next generation of leaders. And on Thursday, while speaking at a post-election seminar, he noted he would not likely benefit from a proposed prime minister's residence.
To the leader of the opposition, you should live in hope. You're much younger than I am. That we could sit here and we could say that really it wouldn't affect you, but you know, if you're going to become prime minister one day, it will affect you. You'll be the beneficiary of it. Not so much me, because I'm in the twilight of my political career.
The 70-year-old also joked about constant references to his age and political plans.
And in recent times, they've been talking about my age. You know, kind of times, it's an interesting point in your life when you reach the age that I'm now at, and people walk up to you and say, you look good for your age. Before that, there's just to say you look good.
Though some people feel it's time for Christie to make way for a new generation of leaders, it seems others aren't quite ready for him to move on. PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts said in February there is widespread support for Christie to stay on as PLP leader, after the Prime Minister suggested that his exit would not be guaranteed if his predecessor, Hubert Ingraham, returns to frontline politics. Whenever Christie decides to end his decades-long political career, though, he says one thing is clear. Before he leaves, he is determined to play a pivotal role in this country's economic transformation.
By the grace of God, I will be the instrument by which a new level of economy over the coming months, years, will come about in our country. And Bahamians will see it and witness it.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
As murders trend upwards in the Bahamas, Prime Minister Christie has renewed his government's commitment to dedicating more resources to law enforcement and social intervention programs to smother and suffocate crime. His comments come days after Commissioner of Police Allison Greenslade said all categories of violent crime, with the exception of murder, have trended downward up to March 19th. He called murders a vexing category of crime that police, with the assistance of all stakeholders, have to get a handle on.
That I am continuing to dedicate resources to the police force because I intend to smother and suffocate this bad behavior. And I'm going to continue to do that. At the same time, continue to dedicate resources to holistic programs of urban renewal.
During an open house and exhibition of the government's printing department, Christie said no matter how many jobs are created, it means nothing if government does not control what he called a culture of killing.
Unless we are able to control the behavior of young people in this country, some of whom arrogate unto themselves the right to shoot and kill and rob with impunity, then we are not working in accordance with our Christian ethic and heritage.
During an interview with NB12 last week, Commissioner Greenslade said there are core groups of people who are feuding among themselves. However, Christie says he doesn't accept that.
It's not good enough to believe that that's just a group of them out there doing that to them. And my final point is not good enough to believe that that's just a group of them out there doing that to them. When there's a culture of killing created, it becomes a culture. And cultures are not geographically constrained.
The Prime Minister's comments come as the United States Embassy issues another warning on crime in the Bahamas. In a release sent out today, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau said it advises U.S. citizens residing in and traveling to the Bahamas to remain on heightened alert to avoid being a victim of crime. The embassy pointed to various incidents that it said occurred over the past 2 weeks, including the shooting of a motorcyclist who resisted a robbery, an attempted carjacking at gunpoint by the Caves Village Plaza, an attempted robbery of an armored truck in Cable Beach, and a shooting at a local nightclub. The U.S. Embassy said armed robberies and violent crime remain a major threat facing both U.S. citizens and residents of the Bahamas. In other news, a man was arraigned in magistrate's court this morning in connection with an alleged assault on 2 female Bahamas Electricity Corporation workers, while another man was arraigned for allegedly delivering threats during the reported incident. 52-year-old Joseph Smith of 23 Avocado Street and 19-year-old Anthony Naranel of 21 Avocado Street appeared before Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans, represented by attorney Chevron Gay. Smith was charged with 2 counts of assault. It is alleged that on Tuesday, March 25, 2014, while at 23 Avocado Street in Pinewood Gardens, while being concerned with others, did unlawfully assault Keithtell Culmer and Rochelle Forbes. Smith was also charged with 1 count of threats of harm. It is alleged that on that same date, Smith did threaten Culmer with intent to put her in fear. Smith pleaded not guilty to all 3 counts. Naranel was charged with 2 counts of threats of harm. It is alleged that under the same circumstances, he did threaten Forbes and Culmer with intent to put them in fear. Naranel pleaded not guilty to both counts. In Smith's case, prosecution had no objection to bail, which was set at $4,000 under the conditions Smith reports every Sunday to the South Beach Police Station and has no contact with any of the witnesses. His next court appearance is scheduled for June 30th. As it relates to Naranel, the prosecution said the question of bail would arise pending the results of an immigration status check, and Naranel was subsequently remanded to Her Majesty's prison pending the outcome of that probe. The Bahamas and Haiti working together to address migration issues between the 2 countries. Over the next 60 days, the 2 governments will work on public relations and education campaigns to dissuade Haitians from migrating to the Bahamas, while encouraging economic cooperation between the Bahamas and Haiti to stem the flow of migration. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell and State Minister of National Security Keith Bell briefing reporters upon returning to the capital today.
We're about to spend close to $250 million buying these 9 new ships. And these 9 new ships are the muscle that's behind the promise that the government is making with regard to stopping illegal migration. I said in the House of Assembly, it makes no sense to tell people, stop, don't come, if they know that you're not serious.
We know that some of the vessels that come into our waters illegally also traffic dangerous drugs, and that's a major concern for us. The talks were important, as the Minister indicated, for us to strengthen our ties as it relates to intelligence gathering, information sharing. Another component to that, obviously, I think, as the Minister indicated, in our talks with the Haitian government, is that whenever these persons venture on these unseaworthy crafts, and as we have had a number of disasters at sea, both countries end up with a black eye.
The Bahamas is seeking to establish a consulate in the northern part of Haiti and stop the problem at its source. Mitchell says the international community has a certain responsibility to act, particularly at this time of stability in Haiti.
You can only keep trying, but the first thing is, with the government in office, you need to come to some understanding on this point. So no one can say that the Bahamas acted unilaterally on this matter. But it's such a vexing issue that we do have to take some strong action to bring it to a halt or manage it in a much better way. This was initiated because our own Prime Minister spoke frankly in the caucus of heads of government in St. Vincent 2 weeks ago, and the President of Haiti agreed straight away to have the meeting. So they all understand what a source of tension this is and can be, and why it has to be better managed.
The next meeting will be held in the Bahamas in the near future to further strengthen the relationship and cooperation between the two countries. The government has recently signed a contract with Sanajes International, a Costa Rican-based healthcare consulting and management firm, to advise NHI, according to Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez. Opposition leader Hubert Minnis said today he wants to know exactly what that company is doing and how much it costs.
Sanajes was initially a part of National Health Insurance Review. I'd like to know exactly what Sanajes is doing at this particular time, since they were part of the initial review. The initial review report were done by Sanajes, Health Canada, and PAHO. Those reports are available. Estimates were in those reports also. So we'd like to know exactly what is Sanajes' jobs today.
Minnis joins noted physician and deputy chairman of the FNM, Dwayne Sands, in calling on the government to be transparent and not leave Bahamians in the dark. Minnis told our news team the government has continued to operate in a cloud of secrecy, while Sands has questioned whether the government would get value for money. The cost is the key question, especially, Minnis said, if that money could go towards other things.
The cost is going to go up. You want to know where that fund, where does the government intend to get that fund? When there are problems within the health sector today, these are problems that need to be fixed. These are problems that need to be addressed. We are at a time when money is tight. We need to know when the new wing of the hospital is going to open up, because at this particular time, individuals that were supposed to relieve the waiting time, relieve the operating time, the operating delay. The theaters are there. We want to know when are these going to open up.
Sanajes is scheduled to start work at the beginning of April, and it will produce a costing, benefits package, and payment modalities report within 3 months, according to the Minister of Health. When MB12 returns, the Prime Minister says more emphasis should be placed on select committees, and BEC may or may not be split up by May as was planned. Stay with us.